Hello and welcome to How to Train Your Factory. Alright, we're going to be getting into the rail system today, starting off our first train network as we make our expedition up to the north to seize the coal and bring it back down, probably run it alongside the oil so we can bring that down to us later on as well. But yeah, as far as how we want to get started for today, I guess we can take a look at some research. And yeah, we're definitely going to want fluid handling for the oil, which will soon be necessary. Braking force sounds good, so we're going to be working with this train stuff. And after that, it really is up in the air. I think we can get away with just about any of these. We'll go ahead and go with the explosives, even though that will flood us with a bunch of military science research. It's nice to have that option and maybe get into cliff explosives in the relatively near future, probably not today. As far as what we want to tackle before we head up, well, first things first, let's get inside of our steamroller. Been looking at our inventory and trying to plan this out a little bit. And we still have plenty of space, which we're going to need for the rails themselves. We're going to need like 2,000 plus rails to get there and back again. And I had a little microsystem of rails, and they're over there. Yeah, the reason why we really need to get that coal is because, as you can see down here, we are lacking a little bit on the coal from the starter base, where we still have some of the lines here and there, but not nearly the quantity that we wanted. So we're going to go ahead, apparently pick up some gravel, but more importantly, pick up the rails and throw those into the trunk here. So what else are we going to be doing? Well, we want to be making electricity up top, which means we're going to need some boilers. We had some steam engines left over from last time, but boilers are lacking. So my next little project is going to be along the lines of our stone production. We're going to be needing to clear out some space here. I guess like here's probably fine. And what we want to be doing here is then making some stone bricks. We had stone brick production way up top, but that is out of our range at this point. We need to make something happen here. Where's my long holes? There we go. And then we'll tell them stone brick time. They'll say yes sir, and off we go. We'll make those stone bricks because making boilers by hands is an absolute pain. I mean, I don't need to tell you, but at this point, yeah, what else do we need? We're going to need some mining drills, which we can kind of get started a little bit here, but realistically, we need to enable our automation to really take advantage of that. So what we're going to be doing instead, as we look towards the north, is heading up to give our factory up here, the assembly line, a little bit of support. The issue that I'm kind of running into is, if we just take a look at it real quick, the system is fine for what we designed it for. Electric Avenue is designed to make like 7 buildings a minute. We need a lot more than 7 buildings a minute, especially when you factor in the fact that each one of these individual tiles can have like 6 or like 4 different items on them if you just count half the line. So we're filling out these boxes bit by bit. We've gotten the large assemblers taken care of to an amount that we're pretty comfortable with, I would say. But we need to expedite the process, and the way that we're going to be doing that is by crafting a few of these large iron frames. So let's grab the basic computers, which should be on the line, and yeah, we'll just give it a little bit of a boost here. In fact, I think we could also, while we're up here, get a little electric furnace action going on. So we'll head over here, we'll check out the computer action, pull that off the line, and that will give us some of what we need to make these frames. We can go ahead and chill out a little bit on the drills. I don't think we're actually going to need that many overall, but of course we'll want to upgrade the iron drills that we have on the line down here. Well, not a priority, but once we get to it. So we got some computers. We need to make large iron frames. That's our big thing that we're lacking. It's designed to only run like the large frames at 0.2 machines per minute, or it's operating on 0.2 assemblers. So it's definitely not active very often, and we just need to make sure that we're supplementing that for the time being. Over time, it'll solve itself, but we're in a bit of a hurry here. We need these drills, so we're just going to go ahead and craft these pieces. Luckily, the craft times on almost all the industrial Industrial Revolution recipes is relatively low. 4 seconds for these frames. The issue comes with all the components that go into it. You need 24 plates, 12 beams, and 4 rivets. That will take a long time. Fortunately, we've already found ways to shop that all here, and with our little quick jump to our inventory button, we are able to supplement this nicely and just keep these crafts rolling. So with this methodology, we're able to then get ourselves in a pretty good spot to make a bunch of large iron frames for use elsewhere. So that's going to be it, since we don't have any more computers on hand. Maybe we can grab some more up top, but roughly speaking, this should be plenty for what we're looking to do. If I make 30 drills and 30 furnaces, I think we're in a pretty happy place. How about here, grab a few of these, and hop right back in. But yeah, the whole system is okay, but it's not like a max throughput system. It's not designed to flood the belts with this stuff. It's just trying to build them all, you know? So maybe in the future we'll expand the factory plan to try to do like 10 of each or something a little bit more. But yeah, for right now we can take half of our large iron frames. I guess we're crafting a lot more, so let's put all the large iron frames in. And then I actually want to use this space for something else as well. We were looking at, which one? The electric furnaces. So apparently coke, which goes into steel, can only be made in an electric furnace, not the bronze one. So while I thought the fuel was really the only difference, the crafting speed being the same, turns out, no, we actually do need these. And rather than make them ourselves, we can, do what we do best. Create a system that will enable it. So what do we need here? We want electric furnace with reinforced iron plates. Half of them will go into this and half of them will go into that. Then we'll want large iron frames, which should be coming on this belt here. So we could, in theory, split it off. Really, we don't even need to take the gears off because, it's not interfering with anything. So let's go ahead and just do this. Yeah, the gears will sit there and not be useful, but it's not like the inserter knows to take off the stuff that it needs and not ignore the other stuff. So then we just need copper wire routed here and an output. Copper wire is a little bit more janky. This is where the spaghetti definitely tastes al dente. I think al dente is a texture, not a taste, but we'll go with it. But ideally, when I'm ever building a mall again, I plan to just use logistic robots, because these are one-off machines that shouldn't need continuous support. These are not wires. These are the ingots. So we'll have to go ahead and just do one of those. And that should work out okay once we give it electricity. So now we've got all the pieces once the large iron frames come through, but since that's not going to happen for a while, let's go ahead and just hand it in manually. Don't expect this to work full-time either, but it'll work well enough. And then we have to decide, are we sending it down here? Are we just boxing it up? Because we don't need them constantly. I'm fine with just leaving it and getting to our next project. So, trying to think of what we need. We definitely need these electric motors as well, huh? Alright, good thing I do have a few of those on hand. Those are pretty easy to get over at the mall. And pistons too? Hungry hippo. Well, I do have that on hand. There they are. I knew they were in there. Alrighty, so that'll make a few of those. It'll send them all the way down. We'll have them available for what we need to do. And we can probably start planning out what our plan of attack is to get these rails all the way up. Well, let's see. Make sure our defenses are set up. We've got some decent ammo boxes ready to roll. We could, in theory, upgrade our armor real quick if we cared for that, because we do have the rubber set up nowadays. Okay, so what I'll go ahead and do is make a few large iron frames here and here, drop 10 of those in each, and then any more that I make I'll just have on hand and available for later. So yeah, sure, we can take a look at modular armor real quick. We didn't really do a lot with the rubber. We set up the rubber line, and then we just kind of said, okay, priorities. Let's go somewhere else. Let's work on something else. But we can just do a quick smash and grab over here for something that we can benefit from, I think that's okay. I'm hoping I can just not crash into a bunch of stuff. It's all the way down? Is that it? Yeah, it's all the way down there. Who needs pipes, really? Who needs a box full of coal? None of that is essential. We just gotta navigate. Reminds me of a Crazy Taxi. There's a Simpsons version that I quite enjoyed for quite a while. All right, so yeah, we got rubber, and we want to keep that rolling through. So we need a little bit more. This should do it. This should do it. And so we will have our armor, which again only takes a few seconds, 15 seconds to craft. No big deal. It's just the extra. Now I could spend some time here setting up a whole chain of. The goal is to get the conveyor belts, conveyor belt 1, conveyor belt 2. I'm thinking that might take a little while, and not something I want to jump to right off the bat. So we're going to go ahead and head up with our armor. I guess that means we need one more, a little bit more on the robot side. We need one more roboport. We need one more set of robots, presumably. We're good there. We got 25. So we'll just let this thing clog itself out, run over a bunch of materials that we clearly didn't need. You're going to see a lot of random boxes. The issue that I'm running into with this mod is that very frequently you are just... There's a bunch of materials that quickly become obsolete. Like, I made a few forestries with the bronze, but I very quickly realized I don't need to carry that stuff around because it's not really doing anything for me. So that's true for a lot of items. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like how to make the most of things. So modular armor, nice little inventory upgrade, I think. Let's see, inventory size bonus 20 and 30. Yeah, so 10 extra slots there, the extra row down here. And then yeah, we'll want to go ahead and take a look inside this, take these items out and put them in here. That also gives us a chance to get one nice little thing. Ooh, a burner generator equipment Mark II. So this is nice because we actually can put this into our grid here and presumably use a little bit less of this. So yeah, let's go ahead and make a couple of these and put them in the grid so that we can just take one of those out, make one more roboport, which does take a little bit of time. And then the other thing I wanted to make was this belt immunity equipment, which I think is kind of nifty. So we can go ahead and pull some stuff here. Of course, we'll need some coal in this machine, or in the roller. And then these guys are going to be charging up over time. So I'll go ahead and put one of those in as well, so this guy can hopefully carry all three of those. I don't think I'll be using them so often that you can't. And I guess I made one extra, but no big deal. All right, the belt immunity equipment can pop in here, plenty of space. I don't think there's any other grid items that I need to worry about for the most part. We'll just get this roboport in where it belongs. And that'll charge up. This should be getting power from through the fuel manager, through the coal that's in here, but I guess that might just be a personal thing that only works for me. So in case that's accurate, we'll go ahead and just bring some coal over here and fill her up. How quickly would they really run out? I'm sure it's fine. So the same can be said over here for this guy. He seems to be complaining quite a bit for somebody who has it fuel managed. I'll toggle that on, off and on. I'm not sure if maybe changing your armor resets its thinking on that, but yeah, we'll keep it in mind as it's getting its grid equipment back online. All right, anything else that we want over here? I think we're looking pretty good overall, and we got a long journey ahead, so you can always do this Shift C, Shift E. That'll presumably redistribute everything that you don't want into other places, so you can keep what you do want. Go ahead and box that as well, and I think we'll be on our way. We were going to grab the stone brick, right? Go ahead and do that. We're immune to belts, for better or for worse. Mostly for better. It messes with my camera too much. All right, so we got the stone bricks. That will help us out making these boilers, which we need a decent chunk of. We don't really have to worry about coal because that's going to be up where we're operating, and that's why it's going to be so easy to establish a new electric network, and not why I'm trying to use these like 2-length power poles to try to connect the 2 grids together. I don't think that makes too much sense. So yeah, we'll grab, I guess they were filtering down here, the drills, and then once we get that, we're on the way. On our way. That way? I don't know. So, drills. Bam. That's the best we can do. I was hoping for a few more. Maybe they're en route at some point. They didn't make it down, so that's okay. I mean, I put a lot more frames in, so they probably ran out like motors, most likely. Not too sure. Or maybe plates. Yeah, plates need to go to the electric assembler. It's a whole thing. A lot of it comes down to we need to make sure everything is fueled, everything is supplied properly, and that means getting out of here. So there's 2 steps to this process for me to get things started. Have a route in mind, but I want to get 2 blueprints set up as we just crash through everything. What was that? That's just a pole, right? It looks, the debris from that pole looks a lot more. I'll do it on purpose here. That's a hell of a pole in terms of just all the whatever is left over on the ground there. But yeah, it's fine. The robots might get a little upset with me, but it's gonna be fine. Yeah, so I wanted to go over to the water here because I thought that's the best way to set up a blueprint that I have in mind. I don't know if this is actually the only way to do it, tiles and all this, but this is going to be what I go ahead and work with. So right here, a little bit closer, we'll even hit the F5 button to grid it out. What we can do is come over here and say, okay, what if we had, let's get some rails. We have rails right here going vertical and spaced out here because we're going to do a not a one-way but a 2-direction system. Then we want one whole grid of landfill to cover any swamp lands that we happen to pass over, and we'll do that again right here. And then we'll go ahead and blueprint this as a short-term blueprint for us, and rail fill. Cool. So we'll blueprint that. We'll put it on a travel bar here. And then we'll also want to do the same for rails, but we'll do that here in a bit when we're actually on the road. Yeah, but that's going to be the game plan of how we can efficiently run through that. And as far as where we're going, I think it's going to be starting around here-ish and heading up. And then we can maybe turn off to the side. We want to get through. So all this injection of ingredients is right here. So we probably want to go like find a way to get it in through this area, which is going to be best right over up top over here. So we'll definitely want it to turn here. Let's go ahead and just start from this position. And I think this line should be okay. Maybe a little to the left. More... If I have a... Yeah, we'll just follow this grid line. So let's go ahead and go right here. And I should probably make sure we have all the rails that we can, just in case. I'm not sure how much this will actually take, but we don't want to run low in the middle of our journey. I'm going to run through. I don't think driving around is going to be the best option. Yeah, we're definitely feeling the effects of that coal. The lack of steam in the system is not ideal. So we only get another 400 rails. I think that'll be enough, though. Stay on top of it. So, what we'll do here is right here, we have our lone defender of justice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set it up to, if I can map it out, that'd be great. go right through there, and then we'll do the same right here, and then we'll make a blueprint of that. So that is just a chunk double rail. And one of those. Cool. So between these two, that should cover most of it. We'll have to do a couple of turns, but I think this will cover it. Now, I wanted to go ahead and do a time lapse of our journey to the north, but I'm not sure that I have the time tonight to render that all out in an edit. If I do, cool. If not, we'll keep chatting. For those that aren't familiar with rail systems, a way to look at them is they're kind of like conveyor belts, but you can't use them while they're in transit. It's basically a conveyor belt that can carry a ton more stuff, but they're limited to unloading and loading locations. They're a bit clunkier, they're too wide, and they have some limits on how you can place them, but generally speaking, they're really like high capacity conveyor belts that, or pipes technically speaking, and that will require a little bit more attention in terms of fuel. They'll output some pollution. And so there's so much you can do with these trains, and I don't think I've really done much more than scratch the surface, but that's what we're here for, is trying to build on what we already have and make something new. So I'm excited about it. We are here at the biter nest, and this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So we'll go ahead and set up our blueprint to go the rest of the way, have our train roll forward as we roll up, and say hello to our friends. Now this is supposed to be combat, but I don't have my new ammo on there just yet. There it is. And now we have some friends. I love how it's literally building while I'm fighting. That's crazy. Probably need to leapfrog a little bit closer than that, but I would actually prefer it if the bots didn't take my stuff, but, you know, it's not like I'm in the middle of a war or anything. They could just not worry about it too much. Yeah. Oh, look at you! We have a small spitter! Well, hello, hello. Welcome to the world, small spitter. Alright. Well, that makes things a bit more interesting. Not too much different than our previous situation, but interesting nevertheless. Please give me my things. Alright, yeah, this is the only time that I'm not really super happy with the steamroller, is when it's trying to take my gear. You know what? Steamroller, you're gonna carry your weight today. Let's see you smash this stuff. After we got our robot friend. Alright, let's go. No rocks in the way, no rocks, just a little bit of good stuff. Oh, it's getting hurt. Don't hurt my steamroller. Well, look at that. Is that a custom animations? I mean, I've seen the slime and the goo before, but the damage, shredding little bits of shrapnel, like little copper bits, little copper wiring all over. Is that custom on the mod? I'm driving this robot crazy just admiring this little artwork, but I don't think that shows up when a tank gets damaged. Not that I'm too familiar with it, but that's really cool. If that is custom animations or particles or whatever. All right. Make sure we got everything. Last time I left some turrets in the middle of the field. Gonna go ahead and avoid that this time around. All right, first one down. Nice and easy. But there will be more. Many, many more. All right, yeah, go ahead and keep... we probably don't want to go that much further. We probably go north at this point. So it's actually probably going to be taking a view down. But either way, focusing up on what's really important right now. All right, right about out here, say hello to our friends. This is where we get to send in our boys. Say, take down the worms. Ba-bam. Gotta love it. Ooh, medium biters. Medium biters and spitters. All in one day. It's gonna get very interesting very quickly. Guess we should check the evolution factor first and foremost. Looks like 30% is where it starts to escalate beyond kind of the bare minimum here, but yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. All right, so I can just do this, and then if they don't end up in my inventory, I can always pull it. Goodbye, little robot friends. Oh, so this is, yeah, they get the shrapnel too. Okay. Yeah, this totally looks like an IR specific thing, which is kind of cool. Give me the ammo, give me the turrets. And now, yeah, let's back it up a little bit to here. Let's do a vertical here, sure. And then let's do that 90-degree turn. If I can learn how to flip things properly. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do it right here. Looking good. All right, not too bad so far. We'll have to do a little bit of a loop-to-loop. So let's just go ahead and clear out a bunch of space here. Don't think we need really any of this tree action, though the anti-pollution will help. We definitely want to be able to use the space, so. We don't really need to process coal in any real way, so. I would say at this point we probably want to go like this. So the game plan is to have like 4 cars on a lot of these. Even if we don't need it now, later on we will. So I guess we do want to go a bit higher on this. Just to make sure. Okay, just make sure these little alien biome bits are done properly. So I think this will work, and then you, yeah, bring it along here, and it connects right there. Great. So we'll have a train. Oh, I did not craft a train station, which is much more complicated than it was before, but looks like we got the materials. Why did I think this was extra stuff? I mean, small iron frame is something. I thought it had a sensor attached to it. Oh, okay, the locomotive itself has a computer. Well, might as well get that started on that as well. Yeah, not a big deal, but we're filling up here with lots of stuff. A lot of stone bricks, all that good stuff. Yeah, so we want to clear this entire area, even though we're not going to be using all of it for a bit. And let's go ahead and drop the train station. All right, name it Coal Mine 1. Working at a coal mine, going downtown. Do we want... Maybe we want to do the... What do you call it? Like the waiting station thing? Where like I can have 2 trains and one of them is waiting for the other one to leave. Yeah. If I happen to want anything to the north, that would be relevant, but I don't think I will. If I did have more train action going that way, sure, but I'm going to try to keep it on this continent for the most part. Speaking of this continent, a little bit worried about that. We should definitely hit that up on our way back. But in the meantime, yes, let's, I'm going to have to talk a bit faster here, or I'm going to be feeling some pain from some of our snowy friends' neighbors. Either way, let's go ahead and look at the drill action. Drill. I definitely have them. I haven't much highlighted them, but here they are. So, yeah, there's so much here. I don't even know where to begin. I guess on the sides, right? It's like a puzzle. You do a jigsaw puzzle, you start on the sides. So you can see here, 320K is when it starts really getting good. And so that's where we're going to start here. We will miss a little bit on the edges, but this is such a big node that I'm not too worried about it right now. We can always adjust later, but I don't really have that many drills. I'll put one on like a half of a resource. So how many did I actually have? 6 more, so it's not gonna be that many. Gonna mostly have to do with chopping this thing down and placing it by hand. These guys are so busy with the red. That's because I didn't bring the roller over close enough for the deconstruction stuff. It's just outside of range, I bet. Yep. You can see where my influence, where its influence stops and where mine begins is right over here. Did they have drills too? Maybe that's mine. Yeah, I think it's just my bot. Taking action. Give him my turret back. But yeah, we'll go ahead and fill this out and cancel a lot of these because clearly there's no way we're going to actually get that many up. Now that we look at what we have. We could have made a few more on the way here, but it's a little late for that. Let's just go ahead with these, and that is not what I wanted. Let's go ahead. Bam. So eventually we're definitely going to want to make this all like red belt stuff. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and put a rail stop. Okay, the rail signals and the chain signals are definitely have more going on than they did before. I'm going to go ahead and do a little trick with a mod that I have called queue to front. Somebody recommended, and I really love the idea of. I've wanted this on so many playthroughs in the past, but we're going to go ahead and queue up a rail signal right up front here. It'll take care of that, no problem at all. And what we can do is then we got 1, 2, 3. We want to put a 4th one, and then we'll put a rail signal behind that, which will, just to keep it simple, so it can hang out right here. Just to keep things simple, we'll just say that this basically tells any train that wants to go through past this red light, whether there's a train between the red light and the train stop. And so the rail signal will make it so that a second train, if I put a second train on here, wouldn't crash and destroy everything. So that's kind of important, right? So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to go ahead and just do a engine +3, and then we'll add a 4th cargo wagon a little bit later once we actually have the materials for it. I didn't really plan on making a second train just yet, but might as well. So we got our 4 drills. We need some power. Let's go ahead and drop the boiler somewhere. As far as water goes, I think that's water, and it's probably our best bet. So let's go ahead and head that direction. A water offshore pump might be lacking. Where are we at? Where? Here. Well, that's where queue to front mod saves the day again. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we really also want to get like a radar down if we can. Don't have the materials for that since I just invested it elsewhere, but we can always put down a telescope and maybe that will help a little bit too. All right. Braking force 2, speed up these trains a little bit. Now I'm seeing all these new techs I really want, but we'll get there. Fluid wagon's essential, and we'll look at ethanol and other options along the way too. Cool. Just keep that rolling, even though it will be consuming more fuel in the process. Is this water? Please tell me it's water. Yeah, okay. So we'll set up right over here to pull the water up. We have pipes, I believe, somewhere in here. And we'll have a similar boiler set up to what we had way back down here. But it's slightly outside of the radar range, so of course we're just going to have to redo it, which isn't that big a deal. Because we know what we're doing, for the most part. Apparently they don't have anywhere to put stuff, so I'll share some of that burden. And yeah, boilers will go down here. What am I doing? I'm doing... I mean, I guess I don't even need the pipes. Just do the boilers along that line. Alright. kind of wanted to do 2 lines, so let's go ahead and just do this real quick. And then they have to have a coal to feed them. Let's say this, and then the boilers. There we go. Just in case we want to expand on this for whatever reason, I want that option. So I don't want to close off everything and come to regret that later on. I'll actually get rid of these for right now because I don't think we need that much, but just for the moment, we'll have it set up properly so that it can work. But we also have to remember we need a gap in between each. So we'll actually deconstruct these, cut these off to the side, move it up 1, and then put a pipe in between. That is not 1, that's 2. Alrighty, and then steam engine time. 1, 2, 3, 4, copy, hit over. And the reason we do that is we want to make sure the electric poles can fit in between every pair to make that work. I guess what I could do is this right here. I'm still going to need the top line though. So either way, it's going to be 2. Might as well do it like this in a little grid. And then we just need the inserters to put it in. So we can go ahead and say this is all that I want and all that I need. Might be missing a couple conveyor belts, but we'll figure it out. And we'll just set that up again right here with the pipe. And that should be plenty. If I'm lacking that, after that, I would be very surprised. And just to get a nice little scan of the area, we'll go ahead and just put a bunch of these up and running. And then, oh, the issue here is actually that we need to jump start it. Get a little steam in, the electricity will work, and then we can attach the coal line from there. Speaking of that coal line. Right over here. I think it's best to actually just hold W here and go up to this point. It's so weird that planning from the map is actually going to be better, but that's the kind of game we're playing. So if we do this right, it would be right here. Run it across. Cancel these. And then we'll have one right here that will also go here, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just have to make sure our stuff's in range and then send it over here. Large poles needed to make this all work. Why isn't it connecting? Okay, so yeah, the large poles always connect better to each other than to the smaller ones. And that's true even with these janky wood ones. But either way, it'll do what it needs to do. I'm worried that this won't connect to here, so we're just gonna have to run it through the middle. Or at least at the tip. Okay, we can just do it at the top. There we go. So we'll do this across here. This one can be more like this. Connecting here. Here. There we go. So all these are operating. Coal is flowing. This looks like it's going to go all the way to here, which will then go into that system. The only thing I'm not getting is why isn't that electrifying? So I nearly run myself over. Alrighty. I think it's just lacking one electric pole right there, but we can go ahead and do this. And then we just need the inserters all around. I love the animations of the game, by the way. If you just like slow-mo walk across between these two, it's just like, oh, gotta plunge through this swampy mess. like actually feels right. Hell, even like the alien biomes adding in the snow, the footprints for the snow, like that's so sick. It's the little things for sure. All right, I see where we had a flaw in our build, so let's just go ahead and pull all these poles and do it the proper way. So I want to do all 3 of these here and here. Then I'll do a little distribution here, which we can make up for by pulling off the line. But in theory, it should work now. And like I did before, I like to do like one burner inserter on the end, just in case there's some weird situation that it needs a non-electric one to keep things alive. Is that a... Okay, so that's some stone. We got plenty of stone down south. We're not too worried about that. But what I am worried about is biter attacks. So we're going to go ahead and put down some defenses. Make sure that the green circle is in range of the next one, as we see biters nearby. Ready to go. Why do these look different? I guess because they're colored after me. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. But anyways, yeah, we'll go ahead and put these here. And because I really don't want to have to come back here, I'm going to go ahead and just spread it out. Like concentrate a little bit harder on the corner here. Well, with that logic, I should probably be... Nah, just two here is fine. This should be able to handle a lot until I have to come and actually... Because this isn't going to stop like an continuous onslaught. It's just going to keep things safe until I get back up there. Which is going to have to be sufficient. Could definitely see value in me heading up, but I'm also worried that that will cost me if I dilly-dally a little bit too long here. Gonna try to make this a bit of a shorter episode. I think that shooting for closer to 45 minutes is probably gonna be more palatable for a lot of the more casual viewers. Obviously, there are some people who will be like, yeah, always more is better, make it 5 hours. But like, realistically, how much is the average person gonna be able to watch or want to watch? I don't want to feel like people are getting burnt out on it. Wow, this is a lot. What do we have? We have the tools we need to make it work. We'll actually stay away from our roller so that we actually get to pick it up ourselves. And combat mode. Make some more ammo. And that is a medium worm. That was our first encounter with them. Alright, we gotta put more in here for sure. So we continue to leapfrog forward. So we're gonna go get as close to this medium worm as possible. And then we'll go from there. That's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. That's not going to be okay. Good to know. All right. So, oh, even this guy is having some trouble. That's fine. And now we're running lower on ammo than we'd prefer to be. Man, chews through it real quick. All right. Let's go ahead and we'll try to assassinate the medium worm as our robots try to do their best to handle what they can of this situation. So we got to stay active and moving if we're going to be able to handle these things. So ready to go, and bam! That does not assassinate it nearly as satisfyingly, but we'll do our best. And I'm hoping it's gonna work. Fish, go fish. All right, this is hurting a bit, and we're out of ammo over there. All right, not the ideal. That is for sure. I'm walking through goo. It's all over the floor. I'm not loving it. Get him. Almost. Yep. Yep. Okay. We're switching to shotgun. We can finish this thing off at least, right? Good. Definitely a bigger battle than we were looking for. This is the state of the evolution. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pull a few of these up closer, put some stuff in there, and then just try to use that distraction to shut down these biters. Or worms, whatever. right, come on, get him. Oh, bam. Whew. All right, that was fun. More? All right. We don't have a lot of ammo. We don't have the means to craft more ammo. We're out here in the dark, all alone. What are we really looking at here? Two medium worms. It's going to be pretty tough. A lot of nests, though. If I rely mostly on these scatter bots, I should be okay. In theory, I can even throw multiple out, and they'll always have a reload ready to go. So I can kind of use them as a very micro grenade. It's not the best way to use them, but it's a way to use them. And these can kind of be more my like last line of defense kind of things, so that I don't have to worry about them getting it. I want to say that they've run out of ammo, but here you see they've run out of ammo. So yeah, let's go ahead and just throw these boys out nice and early. And if that does not work, then we will have to re-strategize that we are not going to die here. Famous last words. Jeez. We better really think about how much ammo. I thought I brought like 300 ammo. I thought that was going to be plenty. And it was not. But I guess technically it was. We made it work. Whew. Dare we? No. I do not like them spreading out, but there's two reasons why I should not go for that nest. One is currently just our ammo situation, and another is they are spreading down south, and this forestry is carrying right now, trying to keep them from attacking us, but I don't know how much longer it will stop. All right. We have trains. We have coal. Let's go ahead and box it up and get out of here. We can always come back to fight the menace. There's even more right there. Yeah, why would I go over here to fight this when I actually still have some more right next door? Oh, we should probably, yeah, so we definitely have to run our lines at this point and put some coal in directly just to make sure it's ready to go. Like I said, I want to put a train here and give it some boxes. I think those are connected. Yeah, it looks okay. You can always see by doing this. So it'll, yeah, so the green line's there. Cool. So these will be for later. But for right now, well, I guess to frame it out properly, I need 4, right? So let's go ahead and do that. At least within my knowledge of how to do things. So what we're going to do is set up the loading station real quick. Which should be relatively... I just realized that short poles are going to be annoying for this. So you see the range of a short electric pole is here. So we're actually going to only be able to run 2, 3, 4 inserters naturally. The 5th and 6th spots are always going to be taken up by those. I mean, if I do it back here, I don't think that changes the situation too much. Like, technically you can get it there, but that's only if you're not boxing, which I planned on doing. I guess you can just do conveyor belts here and boxes there, and that'll at least improve the throughput. I also probably should have prepped for this. Once you get stack inserters, you don't need double-sided, but obviously we're very far from stack inserters and will be for a while. So we could have planned this out a bit better. But I think overall our coal line is going to be sufficient for what we need for a while. Like, even with just a small amount. We're really just future-proofing it if we're doing more than what we've done already. But yeah, let's go ahead and at least get ourselves up, set ourselves up for success in the future if we copy this for later. Which I think is a mentality I should really bring to most of my builds is, can I use this again later? So I want it to turn as much as possible without freaking out, which I think is going to be right here. And then yeah, just maintain this angle here, diagonal, until it reaches this line and get rid of everything that's excess. That last one can stay. Great. So we've got this. We're going to go ahead and give it electricity like this. And then do that same thing here. Yeah, so basically, if we're doing this properly, it should be like this. We're not going to have the throughput for that for right now, in terms of belts and stuff, but that's just like the setup we want. And that means we need to bring it a little bit closer here. Lovely. And then I guess we just do the same thing across here. From there, we're going to be putting chests. I would prefer to have steel chests, but since we haven't made that yet, iron it is. Well, the chest, again, it won't work here. That's just gotta have to be belts. Which doesn't have zero value, but isn't what we wanted, obviously, for a traditional train setup. And then, yeah, we'll do this. Burning through inserters, but we brought a bunch, so it's okay. Yeah, these turn once per second. They carry 3 things, so each insert can handle 3 per second. And counting all 6 of them, that would mean they can handle 18 per second or 1 full belt. So 1 belt for each of these. And if we had reds, that would make sense. Maybe... So how fast do these produce? Mining speed 2.5 per... Like, I guess the question is, if I just pull off the line here, how quickly does it restock it? Does it do it immediately? So 1 pair won't do it, 2 pairs won't do it. By 3 pairs, we're looking very compressed. And then these 2 won't do anything. Okay, so we're going to pull these and put them on their own line. And just to balance it out, yeah, let's just do this twice. Using the most of what we have right now. So we'll do 2 lines, which, as I mentioned, will be plenty for just 2 of these inserter sections. But yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way so that we have that design for the future. And then we can upgrade them to fast inserters. That'll be great. And then realistically, it's not the most even thing, but we can do a very simple maneuver of just... What are we looking at here? With the extra challenge being these little boxes. Cool. Yeah, you can do a thing where, like, you would split it off, and then, yeah, you do multiple splitters to make it so that the last one doesn't get, like, less dibs, but it shouldn't matter too much. I'm not going to be flowing coal out of these boxes constantly. So I'm just going to leave that for now and make adjustments once we actually have a larger throughput line. And then we can do the same thing here if we have room. Which I imagine, based on what I'm seeing, we do not. Yeah, we don't have room for the same splitting setup. So it's going to be more like this. And then interesting. All right, well, at least all 6 are working to fill up the thing. And like I said, that'll be enough for 2 conveyor belts to go constantly. Obviously, you can carry more if you're splitting it across, but there's no throughput to it because the conveyor belt is... It's literally, you were loading half a belt in the front and half a belt in the back. Which, I mean, if inserters are the weak point, then maybe that's the play. So these are, yeah, 2 different sources, which we can also, by the way, merge together here to make sure that it's even. But when we get to this point, yeah, I could see myself wanting to then bring it over here just to make sure that we're loading things properly. So we'll go ahead and just copy everything we see here. Right there. And say... frankly, we could just do it like this. Cool. So it's only half a belt going onto each, the front, first and the third right now, but that's okay. And then you're going to see that we get the same issue over here, but again, once we get red belts, it'll make more sense. Actually, this is perfect for red belts. We can do one full side, and we can just ignore this left side for the time being. Not great. Definitely something I want to work on as I get more opportunities, but it's a starting point. And these yellow, slow yellow inserters kind of make it jankier than I'd like. I usually would have at least blue inserters here, right? So it's more like, well, let's just copy paste the same thing. Put the splitter here instead. And then in you go. And that'll do it. So, 4 boxes getting loaded on. I'm not going to bother doing the exact same thing on the flip side. I mean, if it's super simple, I don't think it's going to be, but if it is, we just did that. We said, okay, it's got to connect to the boxes right here. I mean, that's the scalability of blueprints, you know? So if we just do this and then split it off to the side nice and early, then, yeah, what this does is just make it so the train loads faster. End of the day, it's still going to be relying on a buffer in these boxes, which doesn't mean too much. Yeah, because it's going to be a situation where, like, if we are actually needing this coal on every train, it's going to turn into a situation where if we need this coal on every train going out, then these conveyor belts are just going to be dry. And that doesn't really change anything throughput-wise. So we'll just work with what we have here. And leave this for later. But, yeah. Just trying to find some ways to make this good for the future. And once we have better electric poles, it'll be a lot cleaner. The medium electric poles are perfect for this. But that's the situation. The train is good to go. It doesn't... on this side, we can add the station of Coal Mine 1, which is hanging out at. And the way condition will be until the cargo is full. Which will, of course, take a while. 80 slots in each of these cargo wagons is a lot. But, you know, these guys are working full-time now. It's almost a full belt on each side. Very close to it. And, yeah. I have one more drill. Can go ahead and throw one of those down here. 1.4 million resources underneath. That's awesome. I guess, since we know where the enemy is, we should probably be setting up defenses on this side as well. Not that the train isn't the best defense in the game, but realistically, there's a lot of ways that the enemy can approach, and we have to be ready for that. Problem being, I don't think I've left any ammo over, so we'll have to pull from our other area. 2. Exactly 2. That'll do it. You got 2 guards posted up on the wall with 2 arrows, 2 bullets, and they're just like, what am I supposed to do with this? All right, we can reduce our pollution if we go ahead and cut back on this now. I think we have at least a better understanding of what's going on. Oh my gosh. That's why we stay close to home, and we need to work on our military tech very quickly. This will become a huge pain if I have to go to war with these things with what I currently have available. All right, yeah, we'll just disarm these guys a bit. And head back over with the car in the woods. And yeah, we have a coal train. It's pretty well defended, and I think we have accomplished our goal for today. Not much more to say. Don't want to drag this one out too much longer than I already have. So we'll go ahead and load these guys up. Alrighty. Well, the first blow has been struck. Last thing while I'm up here is I'm going to go ahead and open my blueprint book to chapter 3, verse 12 of creating a net zero environment. And we're going to try to reduce the pollution that's coming from this boiler setup a little bit. If that's an option, that would be ideal. So let's look at the chunk data. This is pretty empty and barren. This is a pretty good opportunity. So if we go ahead and we just bring the pipes over. I'd say over here. I don't want to go that far with it, actually. And activate the blueprint. What do? You shift and mouse wheel, that's right. One of these has forestries in them. There we go. And we'll have to change up what pipes they're using, but the important thing is the grid. We want them to be, we'll just deconstruct this line and put them right here. This should work perfectly. Just do that. Alrighty. That. Bam. Bam. And water it up. And I do like the bronze ones a bit better because you don't have to run an electric line. Obviously not an issue here, but there are plenty of places where I kind of want that set up and don't want to have to worry about it. So I got the burner inserters. They'll pack it up in a box as they have tended to do in the past. And it'll be these. And there you go. So that's one. And I think we probably, given how exposed this position is, I think it's totally reasonable for us to do a second one. So let's go ahead and set it up over here. Try to stop things from too much pollution from going to the right. I'm going to keep this grid on just because it helps a lot in this situation. And we'll take it off in just a second. Not really worried about southeast, so let's just go hard east. And it'll be okay. One more offshore pump is what we would want, but since we don't have that, we can also do a little bit of this action. That is the importance of preparing your materials. There we go. All right, they're getting what they need. This guy has less wood in this area than I thought he would. Go ahead and just make a few of those. And then, yeah, once again, looking at the belting situation here. Burner inserters got used up quite a bit there, unfortunately. So a little bit lacking on that front. And if that's the case, I think my best option is to destroy the belts. Instead of belting into chests, just have the burner inserters put into chests directly. Which might have been a smarter plan in the first place. But here we are. Yeah, I definitely would have simplified it, just did it this way. Technically, you can expand it out by like having a big line of boxes, and that gives them more capacity, so to speak, but it's whatever. We have some pollution reducers for whatever they are worth, and we've got to get going. So that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to head south. I'm going to clear out this small, hopefully small nest, and then reconvene back here. We'll meet back at the bottom on the next episode so we can set up our coal output and send it back onto the line to get things back online. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the series. Of course, if you have any more feedback, especially as we get into more complex train structures, I'd love to hear it. But for right now, y'all have a good one, and see you in the factory.